This woman stumbles into a forbidden area of an ancient castle, where she discovers a handsome vampire king living inside. Instead of killing her, the vampire king makes her his plaything, tying her to a target board for dart practice. If she doesn't obey, she dies. Linde is determined to kill the vampire king to avenge her father. Through their dangerous games, the vampire king actually falls in love with her. Not long ago, while being hunted, Linde escapes to an abandoned castle. To her surprise, the interior still maintains its early 18th century splendor. Suddenly, a vampire lunges at her. She can't believe it. It's the 21st century. How can vampires still exist? She turns to leave, thinking the decaying leaves might be creating toxic fumes that cause hallucinations. But when she opens the door, she sees the vampire king hosting a gathering. Disturbed, he looks displeased. A human? He's about to hand Linde over to his subordinates. At this moment, she enters a dangerous game. Linde pulls out her pistol and fires wildly. The vampires become interested. It's actually a pistol. Linde points the gun at the vampire king and fires without hesitation, but the invulnerable vampire blocks it with his hand. He licks his tongue. How interesting. So pistols have evolved to this level now? Too bad you should have loaded it with silver bullets. He then points the gun at Linde's forehead. If you don't want to be devoured, become my plaything. Linde stays calm, thinking of how to escape. Rather than getting shot in the head, she might as well try to run. Her action completely enrages the vampire king. He uses magic with his hand, instantly binding Linde. Join my game. Win and you get to live. The vampire leans in close, grabs her chin, and asks if she wants to die or live. He pulls Linde into his embrace, his hands roaming over her body, lifting her skirt. Linde's face flushes as he teases her. While drinking her blood, the vampire king asks, "Can you endure it? The game of desire? If you don't like it, there's another option. Let the maids devour you. They're all eyeing you hungrily." One of the maids calls out to the vampire king, DeWitt. The familiar name makes Linde's heart tremble. Isn't this the name of the monster who killed her father 15 years ago? Back then, he drained her father's blood. Linde never expected the killer to be right before her eyes. Seeing Linde hesitate, DeWitt decides to throw her to the maids as food. Linde's eyes fill with tears. She can't die. Who will avenge her father? No matter the cost, she must kill him. She quickly finds a reason to spare her life. "If I survive, I'll be very useful, master." DeWitt barely glances at her. "Sounds good, but I don't need a butler. So you still have to die." Sensing trouble, Linde blurts out, "What about a toy? You don't need a servant, but do you need a toy who serves only you as her master?" The vampire king finds this interesting. He reaches out to caress Linde's face. "You don't look like an obedient toy, but a disobedient toy is more fun than an obedient one, isn't it? If every toy were the same, it would be boring, right?" The vampire king orders Linde to kneel immediately because that's how to prove she's a good toy. He presses down hard, making Linde's face press against his crotch. "What? Unwilling?" Linde says it's not very convenient. She wants to free her hands first. The vampire king won't be fooled so easily. He tells the butler to get her a more durable restraint. "Please, this way, Miss Toy." Linde has caught the vampire king's interest, especially with those green eyes of hers. Taken away, Linde lies on the bed like prey, at their mercy. The butler pulls out a syringe to draw her blood. Linde asks, "Am I the only human in this castle?" "Indeed, for the past 20 years. So that means someone came 20 years ago? To be precise, someone died here. Someone with rare green eyes, just like you. That was Linde's father." She was right. The one who killed her father is him. DeWitt is the one who made her suffer so much. She swears she will kill him. Tears stream down her face. She angrily asks the butler, "Where did that dead person die?" But the next second, the butler releases her restraints, telling Linde to leave quickly. He can barely control himself anymore. The butler's face contorts. He can't resist the allure of Linde's blood. Can't control his desire for her. Linde looks confused. There's actually a vampire here who doesn't drink blood. Why control it? Because drinking blood is a sin. It kills people. Without fear, Linde extends her hand. He seems to be a vampire who still has humanity. Perhaps she can buy him off. Linde hands the syringe of her blood to the butler. After a roar, the butler becomes docile. Linde removes his muzzle and puts her hand in his mouth. She trusts he'll control himself and won't hurt anyone. The butler's eyes gradually clear. He licks eagerly, begging Linde to pet him, promising he won't hurt her. Definitely won't. Then he dresses Linde in a beautiful gown. It's specially tailored. The king will surely love it when she wears it. Then the butler pulls out a thong. This is what the master specifically requested. A more durable restraint. "Shall I help you put it on?" Linde frowns. She has to wear something so perverted. She quickly shoos the butler out. Outside the door, the butler is still savoring that sweet scent when a mocking voice comes from beside him. "Rare to see you like a girl so much. Then I must destroy her." This is the butler's second personality. Meanwhile, Linde, now dressed, walks toward the vampire king. The vampire king glances casually. "Not going to try it on? What, didn't you say you'd be my toy?" Linde explains it's not very convenient. "A mere pair of shorts restricts you? This makes me think your life isn't worth keeping. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Toy? Go prove your worth to me." For revenge, Linde has no choice but to swallow her pride for now. Outside, the maids all want to compete for favor. They wonder why the king finally found new prey but only lets that woman into play. They swarm forward, accidentally knocking off the butler's contact lens. Beneath the blue contact, red eyes are revealed. His second personality is about to emerge. He becomes increasingly crazed. Thinking of Linda being torn apart by hungry snow wolves before the Vampire King, he can't help but feel excited. He deliberately releases the snow wolves. The next second, Linda is knocked to the ground. Her wound keeps bleeding. Little does she know, her blood is driving all the vampires wild, but Linda's blood has no effect on the second personality. The first personality struggles to suppress it. Even the vampire minions from outside rush in. Linda thinks she's about to die, but unexpectedly, the Vampire King saves her. The king teleports Linda to a safe room. He grabs Linda's throat, making her unable to breathe. You did it on purpose. Deliberately. Got injured and bled. You want to test my self-control over you. I don't like having such restless women in my castle. Linda has no strength to argue. But she doesn't want to die here. Perhaps her blood can make him spare her. Sure enough, smelling the blood, the Vampire King becomes docile, licking the bleeding wound eagerly. The blood really works! The man says Linda's body actually bears his contract mark. He never expected this cunning woman to be his fiancée. Linda looks confused. She doesn't understand what he's saying. The next second, the Vampire King orders the butler to bring in the torture devices. Just like that, Linda is bound to a spinning wheel. The dangerous game is about to begin. The Vampire King tells the butler to bring that thing over. The butler smiles wickedly. Once that thing is used, it won't just torture her. It will torture you too, master. Can you endure it? I'm really looking forward to seeing you completely lose control. Just like that, Linda expects some terrible object, but it's actually just a feather. The butler explains, this feather is a holy relic of Asmodeus, the legendary demon of lust. It can awaken the deepest desires in one's heart. The feather is even laced with an aphrodisiac. As you become aroused, the drug's effect spreads through scent, infecting everyone around who smells it. Linda is tortured beyond words. Those who can't achieve satisfaction will lose their reason and become animals chasing pleasure. Though enjoying it, Linda doesn't dare make a single sound. But these half-suppressed sounds make the Vampire King's heart itch. He tells Linda to cry out if she can't help it. Before you die, I'll give you one last thrill. Though she wants to survive, it doesn't mean Linda has no temper. She decides to fight back step by step. First, she uses a seductive tone to lure him. Master, why do you always watch others play, but never play yourself? Is it because you can't? Little does he know, as a child, Linda was sent to a training instructor by her boss. Together with other girls, she underwent secret training. This world is so interesting. It grants men the power to control it, yet gives them brains controlled by reproductive desire. Spy trainees, listen. As long as you can identify their lies, you can manipulate them and obtain the intelligence you want. Linda asks how to identify lies. The instructor leans close to Linda. For example, not interested in you is definitely a lie, because your face and body are God's masterpiece. No one wouldn't love you. Men who are truly uninterested would just kill you directly for your offense, not say these tickling words. That's when you can use provocation. It's a good way to pierce through their disguise. Linda's blood suddenly emits a strong fragrance, a deadly attraction. The butler beside them notices. That aphrodisiac is quite potent. The Vampire King grabs Linda's chin. Cry out in pleasure. You'll die sooner or later anyway. Linda resists. I won't. The Vampire King is about to lose control too. She absolutely cannot break before he gives in. Both of them blush and endure. Then the feather increases the dosage for the third time, launching a fourth round of the game on Miss Toy. Unexpectedly, Linda faints. The butler looks disdainful. Miss Linda is truly special. It's the first time I've seen someone endure a vampire aphrodisiac so well. Master, how will you handle this human? Give her to the lower class, vampires. Or, the Vampire King tells the butler to take Linda to that room on the third floor to rest, and feed her the antidote. He never expected the Vampire King would do this for a woman. Meanwhile, Linda lies unconscious on the bed. The Vampire King watches over her. He touches Linda's face. Seeing the king so absorbed, the butler asks, Master, do you have an appetite for Miss Linda? The Vampire King warns him, don't try to test me. She's far from worthy of being my food. Until dawn, Linda wakes up. She actually survived. It seems no one is watching. Can she escape from the castle through here? She's about to run toward the window, but gets repelled by a magical barrier. Just then, a maid arrives. Miss Linda, what are you doing? If you need help, I can assist you. The maid shows Linda around. Linda was too happy too soon. Someone is still watching. The maid introduces, the entire second floor is the king's forbidden area. Without orders, no one is allowed to cross. The king dislikes being disturbed. The more mysterious a place is, the more curious Linda becomes. That mysterious passage glowing with faint light attracts her. The maid seems to have some wicked idea. She explains it's the collection room filled with weapons the king seized during battles. Linda wants to go see. Ordinary guns can't kill the Vampire King. After all, she needs to get revenge. The maid warns her she cannot enter without the king's permission. Along the way, Linda is distracted. The maid glances behind. Indeed, a lowly and rude human. They arrive at a dilapidated hall. The vampires hold a banquet in the Great Hall every night. Daytime is for vampires to rest. It was so magnificent last night. Passing one resting room after another, they finally reach the kitchen. Linda takes one look and wants to find an excuse to leave, but the maid violently grabs her hair and drags her into the kitchen. Such a coward. I really don't know what the king sees in her. Several maids surround and berate her. Really don't know what the Vampire King sees in you. They jealously attack Linda's beauty. Why do you get a private room and have Emma personally care for you? Emma shows an evil smile. If you ask me, she should live in the basement dungeon, locked up with those vampires who've lost their reason, becoming a public blood courtesan. Linda cowers in fear in the corner. Are they going to eat me? Her hand accidentally touches a knife. She needs to find a way to protect herself. Only lower-class vampires would pounce and bite at the sight of food. But we're high class. Of course we torture slowly. Linda tries to use the Vampire King to pressure them. The Vampire King ordered you to take care of me. That means if I get hurt in your hands, you'll be defying his will. This angers Emma. The maids behind her urge her to act. We're ordered not to hurt you, but so what? I have plenty of ways to make you suffer. Sisters, hold her down. Emma brings over a plate of chicken blood collected over half a year, with maggots swimming in it. Linda breaks into a cold sweat. If the Vampire King finds out, you'll pay dearly. Her words make Emma laugh. I just accidentally fed you the wrong thing. Unless you kneel before me now and offer me your heart, your brain, and your skin. You, a human, don't deserve any attention from the king. Only I have that right. Linda's face darkens. I'm not some doll to be bullied. She slashes two maids with a knife and grabs Emma's hair, pushing her face into the plate. I don't like the way you breathe. Apologize to me, then send me back to my room. Emma's face is covered in chicken blood, unable to open her eyes. Still, she curses Linda. You lowly human, don't expect an apology from me. Seeing her disobedience, Linda pushes her head into the chicken blood again to wash her face. What did you say? It's too dark, I can't hear you. Wash your face and say it again. The minions are stunned by this scene. Only then does Emma reveal who's behind this. Butler Loris, please spare me. Linda can't believe it. How could Butler Loris do this? She already tamed him. Seeing Linda doesn't believe them, the minions swear. If we're lying, may we be devoured by ants immediately. He's on the second floor. We can take you to him if you spare us. Linda has no intention of sparing them. She hangs them up faces toward the water. Here's your punishment. If you can untie the ropes before suffocating, you'll survive. She even praises herself for being so merciful. When Linda finds the butler, he's enjoying afternoon tea on the second floor. He takes out a blade and cuts his finger, making it bleed. Linda stops him just in time. You've started not rejecting blood lately? I'm brewing red tea for His Majesty. He enjoys various flavored teas. Linda asks directly. Emma's actions. You instigated them, didn't you? The butler is clearly startled. He didn't expect they'd tell. A human girl has such ability? Linda doesn't understand why he did this. Is it because you hate me? Did I overstep last time? Exposed, the butler lowers his head in shame. Inwardly, he curses the annoying human. To avoid revealing his determination to kill her, he tearfully pleads, please don't think that way. I've never thought so. I don't hate you at all. Linda grabs the butler's collar. Then tell me why. She releases him, pushing him away. The butler stumbles to the ground. Ordering those maids to bully me, right? Loris, the butler, is nearly in tears, trying to explain but saying nothing. Linda viciously demands a reasonable explanation. The butler tells Linda to get up. Linda refuses. She wants even closer distance. I really hate being toyed with. If you truly hate me, just kill me openly. At such close range, the butler blushes. Too close. Can't think. He swallows. Let me explain. I don't hate you and don't want to eat you. Linda freezes. Eat me? Loris is a vampire who doesn't like drinking blood. Linda forces the butler to tell the truth. Tell me everything you know about DeWitt, the Vampire King. Then I'll let you bite me here. She extends her slender hands for him to caress. The butler's hair stands on end. He pushes Linda away. You don't need to do this. I can tell you what you want to know. I had those maids attack you because you discovered our secret. Vampires fear water. It corrodes us. It's a vampire's weakness. Little does she know this reason is something the butler made up. This gives Linda an idea. Linda happily hugs the butler. I apologize for misunderstanding you, Loris. Drink my blood. The butler's heart sinks as he refuses. As long as he has self-control, he won't consume blood for a day. Besides, we're good friends. How could I hurt you? He turns and kisses Linda's hand. I swear to you. Afterward, Linda carelessly leaves. Only then can the butler relax, struggling to suppress his desire for Linda. The second personality curses the butler. You fool. She deliberately provoked your appetite just to use you, and you can't even see it. The first personality knows but doesn't care. Many people use me. At least I don't dislike Miss Linda. The second personality pulls out contact lenses from the drawer. I will destroy her. Prepare to watch your beloved human get ruined by the Vampire King for offending him. Meanwhile, Linda dresses up and brings afternoon tea to the Vampire King's door. She appears nonchalant on the surface. Who knows what she's plotting inside? Linda massages the Vampire King's temples and chest muscles. Master, is this pressure suitable? Next, I'll massage your face. At this moment, Linda pulls out a water pouch from behind and pours it on the Vampire King's head. Disappear! But after all the water is poured, the Vampire King sits motionless. He turns his head. What's the meaning of this? Then he throws the woman aside. Trying to kill me? Linda quickly apologizes. The Vampire King lifts her chin. Who taught you to do this? Linda doesn't point out that the butler revealed it. Little does she know, this is the butler's scheme of using her to do his dirty work. Linda's chin is gripped tightly. The Vampire King grows more furious. You won't say? Believe it or not, I'll kill you right now. Linda can barely breathe. The Vampire King has tolerated this for so long, but this time she truly angered him. He yanks Linda's hair violently. A few drops of water trying to hurt me? Do you think I won't dare break the contract to kill you? Or do you think I'll be easily seduced like others? Linda's eyes stream with tears. She finally manages to say those words. DeWitt, it hurts. That seductive tone gradually gets the Vampire King aroused. Though he says he absolutely won't be seduced, he suddenly bites the girl's neck, drinking Lindae's blood frantically. Lindae feels trapped by an invisible net, unable to struggle, and doesn't want to struggle. Lindae only verbally resists a little. The Vampire King's face is completely flushed. I don't need to watch others. What? I said I don't need to watch others. I can do it myself. He kisses Linda fiercely. Linda can't help but think, such an honest body. And their every move is being secretly watched by the butler hiding in the corner. Let that eternally calm, restrained, superior DeWitt fall together. Once you taste desire, can you still maintain that noble air of being the only sober one? Come, abandon your principles, become the person you've always despised most, and rot in desire with that woman. At this moment, Lindae feels the gun at the Vampire King's waist. She quickly releases the safety and fires at the Vampire King's jaw without hesitation. The bullet shoots straight through his skull. Lindae is stunned. She can't believe that this powerful Vampire King she tried every means to kill from the start was taken down so easily. Emma shows a sinister smile. At this moment, the butler rushes in. Quick, prepare blood plasma. The master is seriously injured. Several people carry the Vampire King out. Passing by, the Vampire King calls out Lindae's name. The way he looks at Lindae is chilling. Lindae still isn't sure. Is he really dead? Suddenly, the butler grabs Lindae's throat, cursing. Foolish human, do you think who's been supporting this abandoned castle? If he truly dies, you can expect to die with him. Then he orders Emma to lock her up. If the master dies, she doesn't need to live either. At this time, the Vampire King is undergoing a revival ritual. All the servants are praying. Meanwhile, Lindae is brought to the prison by Emma. Someone like you, a human, should be tortured to death in here. But you can't die too quickly. Let the minions torture you well. Linda trembles at their terrifying faces, begging, as long as you don't kill me, you can drink my blood every day and drink your fill. The minions are about to pounce, but another minion knocks them aside. He leans close to Lindae, telling her to keep screaming so the guards won't notice. Lindae is incredulous. You actually have consciousness? He removes his mask. A silver-haired handsome man. He introduces himself. I'm Howl, a werewolf infiltrating here. You're human, right? Shall we cooperate? Lindae's anxious heart slowly calms. I heard that long ago, werewolves and vampires were natural enemies. Just then, a patrol hears the commotion and comes over. Lindae quickly puts on a pitiful expression. Save me! From the corner of her eye, the patrol sees a minion trying to escape. He turns to chase after it. The werewolf helps Linda up. Miss Linda, are you alright? Then he asks in disbelief, did you really kill the Vampire King? Lindae's feelings are complex. This is the first time she's felt a bullet pierce through a skull at close range. The Vampire King must surely be dead, right? Does this mean she's already avenged her father? Tears slide from the corner of her eyes. The werewolf blushes. Linda wonders, I'm crying. Why are you blushing? Following the werewolf's gaze, she looks at her own legs. Her stockings are showing. Linda shyly covers them. The werewolf's eyes turn worshipful. Miss Linda single-handedly killed the Vampire King. That's been my greatest dream in life. Linda grabs the werewolf's collar and speaks seriously. If the Vampire King dies, the entire castle might collapse. We must escape quickly, the werewolf says. But wasn't this just built? How could it be abandoned? In Lindae's memory, this castle was built in the 18th century. It's been 300 years. To outsiders, it's always appeared abandoned. Linda comes back to her senses and asks the werewolf what year he entered. I came in a week ago. When I entered, it was 1833. A week ago, the king issued a new law allowing werewolves to enter the city. My mother bought me new clothes in the city to celebrate my coming of age. I can openly show my tail now, Lindae realizes with shock. But it's 2023 now. What is this? Time travel or a parallel world? After rescuing the girl, the werewolf feels calling her Miss Lindae is too distant. He pleads if he can call her Big Sis. Lindae is flustered. That's not quite appropriate. After all, if he's really lived until now, his actual age is older than Linda's great-great-grandfather. Lindae reaches out to pet him, and the werewolf obediently lowers his head. It's just a form of address. If you like, you can call me that too. The werewolf blushes deeply. Oh no, I can't hide it anymore. He's about to transform. He seems to have developed desire for Lindae too. He happily leads Lindae away. I found a small opening here. This is the small door leading to the garden. Suddenly, the werewolf is attacked by an invisible force, plotting so hard to kill me. Just to elope with such an underage werewolf? The Vampire King returns from revival. His stamina probably can't satisfy you. My fiancé. Lindae's face shows disbelief. He's not dead yet? In fury, the Vampire King strikes. He can't attack Lindae, so he'll kill the werewolf. The butler immediately rushes forward. Lindae shields him with her body, begging the Vampire King not to kill him. The Vampire King's expression darkens. What right do you have to make demands? He reaches out and grabs Lindae's chin. You dared hurt me. Not dying together with him is already your greatest fortune. Lindae cries profusely. I know I'm unforgivably guilty. My survival is your merciful gift, but I also hope everyone can hear your revival gospel. Please spare him. He's weak and can't hurt you. He'll pray for you. The Vampire King freezes. He releases Lindae. You say my revival is gospel. He recalls those voices surrounding him. DeWitt, your existence is your sin. You're the most sinful among the vampires. Go die. Opening his eyes, he sees Linda praying sincerely. She says, I'm willing to offer my body and become your most loyal believer. Hearing this, the Vampire King's mood greatly improves. Can you satisfy me? Linde breaks into a cold sweat. The werewolf protests firmly. No, you can't sacrifice your soul to this demon for me. Before finishing, the butler covers his mouth. Rudely interrupting others' conversation isn't what a gentleman werewolf does. To gain trust again, Linde can only obey the Vampire King. The Vampire King tells Linde to say the oath. I will follow you to the death, DeWitt. Linde can feel the Vampire King is indeed in a good mood. He pulls Linde into his embrace and makes her lift her head. In front of that werewolf, kiss me, obey me. Linde resists a little. Didn't you say giving you my soul was enough? Why are you going back on your word? The anxious werewolf is helpless. It's over. Miss Linde will definitely continue. Sacrificing herself to save me, Linde firmly rejects this deal. The Vampire King's heart trembles. The smile vanishes from his face. Linde is satisfied to keep her life. But the purest first kiss should be given to a lifelong lover, not casually used for deals. The Vampire King doesn't care and forcefully kisses Linde's lips. Then perfect. I'm your future lifelong lover. He bites Linde's neck, drinking her sweet blood. Linde's heartbeat races explosively. Her body burns too, as if something has been activated. From now on, you are my fiancé. The Vampire King holds a revival ceremony. Without exception, those who betrayed the Vampire King must die. But Linde is that exception. Among those corpses, you're the only one who can't stand here alive. Linde stands restrained. How am I supposed to respond to this? Meanwhile, though the werewolf is spared, he's locked in prison, where even minions can bully him. The werewolf recalls Linde bravely sacrificing herself for him. I never expected she'd do this much for me. He's full of regret, his mind filled with her brave image. He becomes increasingly crazed, vowing to rescue her. I'll become her most loyal knight, even if it costs my life. To survive, Linde actively serves the vampire. This is the first time the Vampire King has seen her so afraid. No need for you to serve. Sit down. Linde is confused by his unpredictable moods. From today, you don't need to be as humble as a servant. Learn to enjoy being served, Linde asks, in confusion why. Perhaps it's because of that time. That year, DeWitt's brother stabbed a sword through DeWitt. Because there's no family affection among vampires. They're always each other's enemies. Then a little girl ran over crying, shouting, "You killed father! I'll kill you!" Seeing the girl's green pupils, the brother got excited. Another meal delivered. Just as the brother was about to rush forward, DeWitt used all his strength to seal him away. With blood as oath, cursed by blood. From then on, his blood became foul and rotten, and the cure for everything is right before his eyes. Just when the girl thought she'd be eaten, DeWitt only looked at her coldly and turned away. From then on, the girl believed DeWitt was her father's killer. She vowed that when she grew up, she'd kill DeWitt to avenge her father. Now the girl has returned to DeWitt's side, and she's grown up. It's you, Linde. The Vampire King wonders how to punish Linde for always disobeying. Linde can't figure out the Vampire King's thoughts anymore. One moment he spares her, the next he wants to punish her. She needs to find a way to become the advantageous party. She can't play loyal dog role-play games with him every day. The Vampire King holds Linde on his lap. Since you know you're wrong, you're punished to never betray me again. As long as you fulfill your oath, I can consider granting you a position below one. Above all, Linde feels shy at such close proximity. Sensing his light breath, Linde observes he seems increasingly happy. She agrees without hesitation. The Vampire King places a ring containing a trace of his magic on Linde's hand. He pulls Linde into his embrace. Rewards and punishments. From now on, you must actively kiss me once every day. Linde obediently kisses him, let alone kissing. As long as you give more magic, power, I'll do anything. Just like that, they feel each other. The Vampire King sighs that Linde has become truly obedient. They kiss passionately until lying on the ground. Linde can barely breathe. The Vampire King suddenly changes his decision. From now on, you must kiss at least 3 times every day. Then he roams over Linde's body. Linde stutters in fright. The 3 times? The Vampire King drinks her blood on his own. Several hours later, the butler feels the Vampire King seems to have feelings for Linde. As soon as he speaks, the Vampire King warns him. Loris, you've overstepped. The butler is frightened and quickly apologizes. I'm just worried that human is restless and will deceive you. The always ruthless Vampire King shows exceptional mercy to Linde. The Vampire King's blood has always been foul and rotten. Now it's become so fresh and vibrant, precisely because the girl is his cure. But to him, emotions are the most useless thing. He's absolutely just using Linde, yet he orders the butler to arrange more activities that can strengthen their relationship starting tomorrow. The butler always has sinister plans. He won't give the Vampire King any chance to soften toward that woman, but the butler's first personality, Loris, obeys Linde. He orders his second personality, Murray, not to harm Linde. Murray tries to brainwash him. You're just being seduced. Have you forgotten how the master saved you back then? Loris hasn't forgotten. But Linde was also the first person willing to give him her blood. She even said he's innocent. Linde must have other reasons for hurting the master like this. He can't harm her. Murray frantically grabs Loris by the throat. Haven't you thought about it? You've never been interested in human blood, so why do you specifically like hers? She must have tampered with that blood. From the very beginning, she's only been trying to win you over to betray the master. These words completely trigger Loris. He seals Murray's consciousness. Murray starts panicking. I promise not to harm her. Please let me out, okay? A moment later, he changes his tune. Not harming her is impossible. Then I'll just exploit a woman's jealousy instead. Meanwhile, Linde returns to her room. She stares at the ring the Vampire King gave her, lost in thought. She tries various ways to activate its power, but there's no response whatsoever. At this rate, when will she ever be able to break into the prison and rescue Howell? Could it be that she needs to use mental power to activate it? Linde Linde keeps calling out the Vampire King's name. DeWitt, who's taking a bath, senses it. My little plaything misses me again. He immediately orders the butler to bring Linde over. Soon, the girl arrives at the bathroom. The Vampire King tells her to help him bathe. Linde's face turns red as she freezes. She just thinks, shouldn't professional maids be serving him? The Vampire King looks helpless. Not satisfied with being alone with me, Linde doesn't dare delay. She quickly picks up the water pitcher and begins bathing the Vampire King. The butler wants to cause trouble. He uses magic with his hand. Linde suddenly falls into the bathtub. She lands directly on the Vampire King's chest muscles. The Vampire King is quite satisfied. He didn't expect Linde to be so proactive today. Have you secretly done something to betray me? Linde feels guilty. She wanted to, but hasn't had the chance yet. Maybe that suspicious fall just now was his doing, and now he's turning the tables on her. Linde can only take the offensive, please him, and lower his guard. Linde touches his chest muscles. I missed you, master, so I want to be closer. The Vampire King praises her for being such an honest child and tells Linde to lift her head. Master will reward you. Before Linde can wonder if it's another ring, the Vampire King kisses her. The two embrace and caress in the water. At this moment, Emma, a maid who admires the Vampire King, arrives with clothes. She hears a woman's voice of resistance. No, no. Emma looks up and sees that steamy scene. The Vampire King completely ignores the person at the door. He just amuses himself by teasing Linde. How did you just defy me? These words instantly ignite Emma's jealousy. The usually aloof master. How could he allow a human to make such moves on him? Linde has already lost herself. She keeps calling out master. Usually she calls him by his name directly. The Vampire King teases her. What? Can't handle it already? Linde didn't expect it to develop like this. She was clearly preparing to leave. Thinking back, it's all because of DeWitt's advances that things turned out this way. All Linde can think about is rescuing Howell and then killing DeWitt. The Vampire King mentions, do you know how to use that ring? Linde immediately changes her expression. Master, command me as you please. The Vampire King doesn't like people standing while talking to him, so he has Linde sit on his lap. No matter how much Emma tries to remind him, the Vampire King pretends not to hear. Linde speaks seductive words to please the Vampire King. My love for Master is like adventurers who are born to chase thrills. Being away from you for even a second makes me uncomfortable all over. She thought speaking this way would earn her more benefits. She didn't expect this kind of reward, being pushed directly into the wolf's mouth. The Vampire King caresses Linde's face. He clearly heard her greedy desires, yet he can't help but kiss her. Emma, ignored on the side, is filled with resentment. He's supposed to be my king, mine. I'll kill you. She carries a lamp down to the basement. To prevent Linde from rising in position, she must do something. She arrives at the secret chamber mentioned in the letter. She finds the sleeping disaster of Ogmo's castle. She doesn't hesitate to summon it with her blood. If possible, she wants power, the power to control everything, and beauty, because she wants to seduce DeWitt. The deal is instantly made. At this moment, a male servant on patrol walks by. He discovers that Emma has awakened the disaster. He's about to turn around and report it. Emma turns her head. She tells the man to turn around and look at her. The man is instantly completely controlled, unable to move. Emma commands the man to erase his memory and incite other lower vampires to rebel. The male servant obediently does as told. Like a robot. Emma is instantly ecstatic. She's no longer a hardworking maid. She instantly transforms into the most beautiful newcomer in the entire vampire clan. She changes her name to Aggie. On the other side, Linde and the Vampire King arrive at the training ground. The Vampire King tells Linde to stand with her legs spread apart, tighten her upper arms, and she must hit the center of the target. According to the game rules, if she misses, Linde won't be able to keep any of her clothes on. Linde suffers in silence. After all, he makes all the game rules, this scheming man. She definitely won't let the Vampire King have his way. The Vampire King leans close to her ear. If you still miss, you don't have to take off your clothes. Instead, come to my room tonight to serve me. He clearly wants to distract Linde, but he doesn't expect her to hit the bullseye. The Vampire King sees how happy she is and questions her. Are you that unwilling to come serve me? Of course I want to, but I can't let down your afternoon of teaching. The Vampire King is flattered by her sweet words. He's willing to honor the bet. He sits in the chair and has Linde undress him. The game rule is that Linde removes one piece for each miss, but if she hits, the Vampire King removes one. Linde's whole body tenses up. How can he be so calm? She clearly won, yet feels like she's at a disadvantage. She walks up to the Vampire King, her trembling hands about to undress him, but the Vampire King catches her hands. Before undressing, aren't you going to kiss, Master? They just kissed for so long, and her lips are injured. She wanted to take this chance to escape, but the Vampire King tells her to be gentle. Linde thinks it over. Anyway, she's already done it once today, so she takes the initiative and kisses him. She looks at the Vampire King enjoying himself, her face flushed. Is this enough? But the Vampire King isn't satisfied. Just as Linde is about to protest, her mouth is sealed. The Vampire King means that the previous ones don't count. They were just practice. The 3 kisses per day start now with the first one. Just like that, Linde sits on him, being manipulated at will. Finally, Linde pushes him away with her last bit of reason. The Vampire King seems reluctant, but can only reluctantly agree. This is also the first time she's escaped from the wolf's mouth. Linde looks at the ring on her hand. Today wasn't a complete waste. Next time she'll continue finding ways to gain more benefits from him. Meanwhile, the Vampire King satisfies his unfulfilled desires. Next time, I must think of a way to fulfill her wishes. make her obediently serve me, and I need to spoil her more. I want her to love me more. The Vampire King's mind is full of Lind, while Linda only thinks about how to kill her father's enemy. Fortunately, she left in time. Otherwise, she almost had relations with her enemy. At this moment, she hears maids outside the door talking. This should be the first time Master has summoned us since his resurrection, right? So happy. Master hasn't forgotten us because of that human. Will Master play games with us like before? I love those games. Linda hides behind and eavesdrops. She sighs. I just left, and he can't wait to summon them. She hears one of the maids say, in the name of love, make that arrogant man willingly bow his head and humbly offer everything for me. Linda catches the key point. In the name of love will make him submit? A familiar person walks over from outside the door. It's the transformed Emma, but everyone seems unable to recognize the person in front of them. This figure, this appearance, even better looking than that human. Aggie knocks on the Vampire King's door. Master, I'm here to serve you. She glances at Linda hiding behind the wall. I will defeat you. Linda seems a bit unhappy. How could she be jealous over her enemy? It's utterly ridiculous. She might as well spend the time thinking about how to gain benefits from him, then kill him to avenge her father. On the other side, the beautified Aggie thought she could win the Vampire King's favor. Unexpectedly, the Vampire King tells them all to get out. Who let you in? I don't need you. Aggie is frightened by this roar and blames Linda in her heart. She must have used some trick to make Master's temperament change drastically. The Vampire King sees her unmoved and continues shouting, "Get out!" Aggie becomes even more jealous. She vows to make Linda suffer a fate worse than death. At this moment, Linda is wandering around the castle. Suddenly, she's attacked by a small demon from behind. Linda's combat ability is no joke. She kicks the small demon downstairs with one foot. Linda is confused. What's going on? Didn't they say small demons aren't allowed upstairs without permission? This one has even lost its reason. A lower vampire. Before she can think more, a group of vampire demons swarms up. Linda is caught off guard. She just happens to use the combat ring the Vampire King gave her. The energy runs out in no time. She can only watch helplessly as the small demons pounce on her, just when she thinks she's going to die here. The Vampire King repels the small demons with one gesture. He takes the opportunity to hold Lynn tightly in his arms. He asks with concern, "Are you hurt?" Linda is shocked. Shouldn't he be in the room, playing games with the maids? Why would he specifically come to save me? The Vampire King looks at Linda's ring. The energy's depleted. Are you planning to manipulate the lower vampires to riot? Is this how you treat what I gave you? Before Linda can refute, the vampire continues. In this entire castle, only my ring and yours can control everyone in the castle. His face grows increasingly dark as he questions. Are you so eager to cause me trouble? Linda is speechless. You know best how much energy is in the ring and what it can do. It can't even protect me. If you want to kill me, you can be more direct. No need to beat around the bush. She then has the Vampire King grab her neck. So you still feel wronged, or do you think I won't kill you? Linda shouts angrily. Not that I feel wronged, but I am wronged. Seeing that Linda's eyes don't look like she's lying, the Vampire King freezes. He gradually loosens his hands. Aggie behind them is observing. Oh no. Master's attitude is softening. She slowly walks toward the Vampire King. Using a cute tone, she calls out, "Master." She seems to plead for Linda, but every sentence targets her. Linda doesn't recognize who this person is. Why is she so hostile at their first meeting? She introduces herself as Aggie. She helps Linda apologize to the Vampire King. Linda sees that she regards her as a rival for favor. Linda shakes off Aggie's hand. Don't talk to me in that familiar tone. I don't even know you. She reaches out, wanting to prove to the Vampire King. This is the defective ring you gave me. She waves her hand. The ring releases powerful energy. It knocks Aggie to the ground. It wasn't working just now. Could someone be controlling it? Linda's action completely enrages the Vampire King this time. He shouts at Linda, "Have you caused enough trouble?" The maid lying on the ground takes the opportunity to act pitiful, but the two are busy arguing and ignore her. Linda retorts that she's not causing trouble. If this is causing trouble, then what isn't? After saying this, Linda feels her anger miraculously subside. All that remains in her heart is disappointment, but she doesn't even know when she started having hope in him. Linda throws both rings on the ground. Since you don't trust me, don't give me these things. Otherwise, I'll mistakenly think. Your rewards and your affection are equally cheap. The Vampire King freezes. Aggie on the side is still calling out, "Master, master, I'm in so much pain." Only then does the Vampire King notice Aggie. He's about to reach out and touch her. Aggie's eyes light up with anticipation. The next second, the Vampire King withdraws his hand. He orders Butler Loris to investigate this matter thoroughly and throw this woman out. I don't want to see her again. Aggie hurriedly begs for mercy. She thought becoming beautiful would let her control the Vampire King. Linda, who has returned to her room, hasn't yet recovered when she hears the butler knocking. He's been ordered by the master to investigate the vampire loss of control incident. As soon as the butler enters, he starts plotting. He sees Linda sitting furiously on a stool. The butler panics, thinking Linda is preparing to assassinate the master. Linda holds a knife, her face full of anger. "I didn't expect a wit to have someone investigate me." At this moment, the butler still tries to persuade her. Linda asks tentatively, "If it were true, what would you do?" The next second, the butler's second personality becomes fierce and menacing. "If she dares assassinate the master, I'll definitely kill her, but she must die reasonably at someone else's hands." The butler can only go along with Lind. "Of course I support you assassinating the master. We can discuss a plan." Linda laughs. She picks up an apple and peels it. "I never said I wanted to kill DeWitt, Linde didn't follow the butler's sinister plan. The cruelest way to defeat an enemy is to make him fall in love. Thinking carefully, what those maids said was right. Since I can't escape or win, I'll just change my approach. The master protecting butler finds it unbelievable. Linde praises, "Master treats me so well. Why would I kill him?" She slowly approaches the butler, questioning him. "But aren't you DeWitt's most loyal butler? How could you support me harming your master? Don't say anything about falling in love with me. I won't believe it." She presses the knife against the butler's face. Linde is also clear that the butler wouldn't be bought over so easily with just a drop of blood. There's another possibility. He's acting. Thinking back to the beginning, Loris was always an observer. He never truly helped Linde with anything, not even saying a word. Linde suspects DeWitt had the butler do this, making her think she has help in this hellish place. She's been isolated and helpless from the very beginning. Linde cups the butler's face. His fangs haven't grown out. Even Murray, who was full of malice toward her, is slowly wavering. Loris sees it. "I told you Miss Linde is very kind and likable." Murray quickly tells him to shut up. "No need to remind me. I'll treat her well from now on." Murray's favorability toward her rises. "Miss Linde, if you need anything in the future, I'll do my best." Linde happens to have something to ask. She wants to know what DeWitt likes. Of course, beauty and blood. Doesn't Linde have both? Linde is curious what type of beauty he likes. Has this castle ever had a mistress? The Vampire King likes cold beauty but really dislikes the proactive type. But if Linde remembers correctly, he loves playing games with the maids. Could that also be a lie? Murray doesn't answer. He just politely bows and asks Linde to give him her hand. He slowly bends down. Linde's heart tightens. "What are you trying to do?" Murray bites Linde's hand, then kisses the back of her hand. The hand-kissing ceremony is a vampire's highest sincerity. I hope you won't question my sincerity. Linde can only trust him. Looking at the bite mark left behind, Murray apologizes humbly. "Sorry, I didn't mean to." Linde quite likes it. She can just use it to play hard to get with the Vampire King. She reaches out to reward the butler. "This is a drop of blood I'm giving you as a reward." Murray tastes such sweet blood for the first time. That evening, Murray comes to report to the Vampire King. The lower vampire loss of control incident has nothing to do with Miss Linde. The Vampire King stares at the rings on the table, lost in thought. Murray mentions, "Is Master going to apologize to Miss Linde?" The Vampire King remains stubborn. "Apologize? Do I need to apologize to her? What is she doing in her room?" During today's investigation, Miss Linde was peeling apples in her room. The Vampire King is stunned. "She's still in the mood to eat apples? It seems she doesn't care about me at all." This completely triggers the Vampire King's possessiveness. He orders Murray to have her come serve him tomorrow. The next day, Linde is arranged to wear beautiful clothes. She brings morning tea to the Vampire King's door. The moment he sees Linde, the Vampire King's heart keeps stirring. Why is she so beautiful today? Then he commands Linde domineeringly to come closer. Linde quickly refuses. "I don't dare. According to your rules, I mustn't get too close when serving you." The Vampire King changes the rule. From now on, Linde must serve him during meals and feed him personally. Linde hands an unpeeled apple to the Vampire King. The Vampire King looks disdainful. "Is this how you serve people?" Linde is about to play hard to get. She says coldly, "If Master isn't satisfied, why not have someone else serve you?" Her words completely trigger the Vampire King's competitive desire. With a snap of his fingers, Linde flies into his arms. Linde feeds the apple to his mouth. Only then is the Vampire King satisfied with the taste. The taste is quite good. Continue. Humans have the habit of peeling apples before eating them. Would Master like to try? The Vampire King tightly holds her waist. While she's peeling, he speaks, diverting Linde's attention. Linde accidentally cuts her finger with the knife. The Vampire King quickly puts her finger in his mouth. "Does it hurt? I'll do the rest." Linde pulls out her finger, finding an excuse to escape. She says the floor is a bit dirty and she needs to get a cloth to clean it. Her small figure scurries away. Soon she returns carrying a bucket of water. She vigorously wipes the floor. Master has taken the bait, but it's not enough yet. The Vampire King tells Linde to wipe the bookshelf too. After all, there's a lot of dust. Linde sees such a tall bookshelf. It's not hard to imagine he's doing this on purpose. Linde has no choice but to ask the Vampire King to come help. The Vampire King is secretly delighted. "Of course I'm happy to." He pulls Linde up in one motion, lifting her high. Pressed against Linde's back, his heart starts burning. The Vampire King apologizes for what happened before and says he'll return the rings to Linde. Linde deliberately reveals the bite mark on the back of her hand. This lets the Vampire King spot it immediately. "You're injured. How did it happen?" "Let me see." Linde nervously pulls back her hand, explaining she accidentally bumped it. These words instantly anger the Vampire King. He forcefully grabs Linde's hand. "Where did you bump it? Is this your reason for only wanting to be a maid?" Linde pretends not to care. This makes the Vampire King even more frantic. "You don't know? Then let me tell you. The wound on the back of your hand is clearly a male vampire's bite mark. Tell me, who is he?" Linde wants exactly this, his humiliated rage. The Vampire King is going crazy. "Listen, I won't pursue the past. From now on, if you're willing to continue being my fiancé, I'll not only give you status second only to me, but also fulfill one wish for you." "Any wish?" Lindae's plan is finally working. The Vampire King has finally taken the bait. Unexpectedly, Lindae wants freedom, but she's already a free person. You're my fiancé. No one will restrict your activities. But Lindae doesn't want this kind of freedom of movement. She wants more rights to accept and refuse. For example, she can enjoy the maid's service, and also refuse to keep them away. The Vampire King understands. You want to refuse me? Lindae doesn't dare refuse the Vampire King. I'm Master's fiancé. I can do anything. The Vampire King returns the rings to Lindae. He lies on the sofa and has her come serve him by changing his clothes. Lindae can only obediently comply. She slowly unbuttons the Vampire King's shirt, revealing those 8-pack abs. Seeing Lindae's face turn red, Master, I'm finished undressing. The Vampire King says nothing, just stares at her. The shy Lindae quickly sits up straight. Master is teasing me again. Inside, she can't help but complain. Damn it! DeWitt really knows how to torment people. The Vampire King loves even more this woman who keeps him at bay. This is called teasing. Ordinary maids don't even get the chance. Yet you show no appreciation. The Vampire King's words instantly make Linda sulk. Isn't it true? I'm clearly Master's fiancé, yet Master still treats me like a maid. The Vampire King forcefully pulls Lindae into his arms. Then what do you want? Everything is within Lindae's control. DeWitt is taking the bait. Lindae lifts the Vampire King's chin. I want Master to dote on me more and serve me once too. This instantly sparks the Vampire King's interest. Before Lindae can react, he pins her beneath him. You're quite bold. Since you're my fiancé, I'll reluctantly agree. As long as you behave, I'll always cherish you. He bites down with his mouth. Lindae's heart sinks. He's using the word behave to describe me. He's raising me like a pet. Just like that, the Vampire King roams all over her body. Lindae is already flushed and flustered. The Vampire King asks if Lindae likes this kind of service. Lindae can barely speak. Of course I like it. Just as he's about to succeed, the Vampire King suddenly snaps to his senses. Wait, the faith supply hasn't connected yet. The Vampire King looks at Lindae enjoying herself. Is she deceiving me? Or am I not doing enough? Lindae quickly asks why Master stopped. The Vampire King finds an excuse to dismiss her. I heard human bodies are fragile. You're tired today. Rest more. Lindae covers her torn clothes with a garment. Lindae can't figure out which step she did wrong. Could it be because she said she liked it? Recalling the butler saying he likes cold beauties and especially dislikes the proactive type. It's indeed not easy to capture this man. One wrong step and she hits his trigger points. Next time, she must work even harder and go all out to seduce him. Before Lindae can recover, the Vampire King tells Lindae to follow him. Several hours pass. He keeps leading Lindae around the edge of the castle without saying a word. What does he want? They arrive at a broken wall. DeWitt stops and looks at the crack in the wall. Lindae can't help but wonder if it's a spell to reinforce the castle. She watches the Vampire King repair it with magic. Lindae doesn't understand. Does DeWitt have to do this personally? What is he guarding against? After reinforcing the castle, DeWitt has Lindae return to the room with him to rest. The Vampire King lying on the bed has already fallen asleep. Petite Lindae curls up in his arms. Does he need to sleep to recover after consuming magic? A week has passed. Based on Lindae's observations, DeWitt plays games with the maids every day, reinforces the castle, and sleeps. Before she can snap back to reality, she hears a familiar voice calling, Master, where did you go? Come catch me. Today, DeWitt is also playing games with the maids. Linda wonders whether to advance her plan. Lost in thought, she accidentally breaks a teacup. The Vampire King glares viciously at Linda. Linda quickly apologizes. The maids all complain. She did it on purpose, right? We finally get to serve Master once, and she interrupted. The little bitch must be jealous. She also seduces Master herself, disturbing Master's game with us. Let's see how Master punishes her. The Vampire King also thinks Lindae is jealous. He lifts Lindae's chin. You don't want me to play games with the maids? Lindae learned from last time's lesson. This time she absolutely can't be proactive. She smiles awkwardly. Master is free to play with whomever you want. I won't interfere. The two glare at each other. The Vampire King says coldly, Very good, but you've disrupted my mood. The Vampire King hoists Linda onto his shoulder. No matter how much Lindae pleads, it's useless. Lindae immediately softens. Master, I'm willing to do anything to compensate you. This immediately draws curses from the other maids. The Vampire King tells them to shut up. Her serving me is fulfilling her duty as my fiancé, but she's still your mistress. All of you, get out. The Vampire King forcefully throws Linda onto the bed. Tell me, what are you willing to do for me? Unexpectedly, Linda means accompanying Master to patrol the castle every day. The Vampire King suppresses his anger. I didn't expect that after just 1 week you figured out my movements. Is it unintentional or deliberate? He orders Linda to come serve him. Linda panics. Rest? Shouldn't Master patrol the castle first? At this moment, the Vampire King has already unbuttoned his shirt. Of course I'll do the important thing first, then go. Linda can only obediently comply. Little does he know, this is exactly what Linda wants. After several crazy hours, the Vampire King has tired himself to sleep. Linda carefully leaves the room. Unexpectedly, the Vampire King slowly opens his eyes. He finally can't sit still. The Vampire King had already installed a tracking device on the ring. Let's see what my fiancé is really up to. Soon Linda arrives at the prison. She meets Howl. I need your help. I've already found the weakest spot in this castle's barrier. Howl cries uncontrollably. Tell me what you need me to do. This time I'll repay you. Linde hands the ring to Howl for his escape. Linde has her own arrangements. Emma, hiding in the shadows, watches everything. Linde, I've caught you red-handed again. Just you wait. The Vampire King in bed looks at the monitor in his hand. She actually went to the prison. Soon he hears the guard say someone has escaped from prison. The Vampire King quickly asks the butler about the situation outside. The butler has already ordered people to capture the fugitive. Hearing it's that werewolf who escaped, the Vampire King's heart sinks. So she deceived me for him. The Vampire King immediately wants to give his fiancée a surprise. At this moment in the prison, the werewolf looks at Linde with admiration. I knew Linde was the smartest. You even found the flaw in the barrier. You couldn't have fallen for DeWitt's scheme like those guards said. The werewolf's words suddenly wake Linde up. Wait, fallen for DeWitt's scheme? At this moment, the Vampire King and the butler are coming to find Linde. The butler didn't expect that the master's magic power was already scarce. He actually cast a sensing and tracking spell on Linde. Is his possessiveness of Miss Linde this great? The Vampire King suddenly asks the butler, do you know about domestication theory? The best way to tame a wild beast is to constantly satisfy her needs, give her false freedom, then capture her again, make her completely recognize who her master is. After she endures extreme fear and learns how to serve her master, she'll eventually become a pet that can't escape even when the leash is loosened. The Vampire King becomes increasingly sinister. Linde, my fiancé, I hope you'll like this surprise I designed for you. At this moment, Howl is using an axe to strike the crack in the wall. The Vampire King questions the werewolf about where Linde is. How did her ring end up with you? Where did she go? Before he can be on guard, the Vampire King is grabbed by the neck by Howl. You came right to me. This time I'll definitely kill you. I'll completely end all the absurdity in this castle. The butler arrives just in time to rescue him. The Vampire King still has time to praise Howl's strength for improving quite a bit since last time. He coldly questions the werewolf. Where did you hide Linde? Actually, the two split up from the beginning. Linde went alone on the more dangerous path and gave the ring to the werewolf. He looks at Linde with admiration. Coming back to his senses, the werewolf swings his axe forcefully at the Vampire King. The Vampire King quickly dodges. He orders the butler to attack the werewolf at the fastest speed. Fortunately, the werewolf dodges quickly. The butler quickly apologizes to the Vampire King for not catching him. The Vampire King thinks he deliberately let him go. He curses the butler as useless. You'll receive your punishment later. Then he goes to search for Linde's whereabouts. The butler is dissatisfied. Inside. This is the evil method the Vampire King uses to control Linde. He's learned it well. After half a day, the entire castle has been searched. But there's no news of Linde. The Vampire King rubs his aching head. He sternly warns the guards, if you can't find her, you'll have to die. Just then, the Vampire King suddenly senses someone in the room. He walks over carefully. Unexpectedly, Linde is wearing a sexy dress, holding red wine, calling out coquettishly, Master. This completely catches the Vampire King off guard. Linde bites her finger shyly, questioning, why did Master only just come back? After finding his fiancée, the Vampire King's first thought is to possess her. They have an all night long. The unsatisfied Vampire King complains that human physiques are really poor. Otherwise, 3 days and 3 nights would be nothing. Linde is so tired she can't straighten her back. The Vampire King still wants to steal a kiss. Linde quickly coaxes him. After we sleep, okay? Her hand touches the Vampire King's heart, which is beating fast. The Vampire King blushes. I don't have a heart, and I never have a heartbeat. Don't use human logic to wildly guess about me. Before he finishes speaking, Linde pulls him over for a kiss. Just kidding. The heartbeat is mine. The Vampire King is charmed and delighted. Linde can finally lie in bed and rest. Domestication theory says that if you want to tame a wild beast, the best way is to constantly satisfy his needs, confuse his vigilance, then tighten the rope around his neck. Make him completely recognize who is the master in this game. The Vampire King thought he had the upper hand. Little does he know, both want to scheme against each other. They're both expert players. The Vampire King tells Linde to sleep peacefully. He'll stay by her side. Linde smiles affectionately, but she knows in her heart that whether or not DeWitt truly dotes on her as he appears to, it's impossible for him to tolerate someone he views as a plaything, repeatedly challenging his authority. Not to mention, this escape was most likely just a scheme designed by DeWitt. Recalling yesterday when she discovered something suspicious in the prison, Howl said she might have fallen for DeWitt's scheme. After Linde realized this, she understood that no matter how tempting the exit is, she can't go. She quietly returned to the room, picked up a bottle of red wine, and acted as if she never wanted to leave. She slowly makes DeWitt lower his guard. This way she can obtain a real chance to escape. Of course, incidentally, she seduces the Vampire King even more deeply, watching him fall from his pedestal, tormented by desire. Linde can feel the Vampire King has been staring at her. The Vampire King looks at the sleeping Linde. He sighs. You'll always be my plaything. He gently kisses Linde. Before she knows it, time passes. The Vampire King has been staring at Linde in this position for an entire day. The next morning, the Vampire King summons the butler to the medical room. He orders Butler Loris to create a potion that can control human souls. The butler is shocked. Haven't you always despised such underhanded tactics? Then something occurs to him. Could it be that you've fallen in love with Miss Lind? This statement seems to enrage the Vampire King. He instantly crushes the test tube in his hand. I'm giving you 3 days. Get it done. In the corridor. The butler's words keep echoing in his ears. The Vampire King mocks himself. Me, fall in love with an insect? It doesn't matter what methods he uses. It doesn't matter if this makes her lose her soul. After all, all. All he wants is a personal toy he can play with that won't leave. At this moment in the medical room, Murray mocks Loris. You heard what Master said, right? And you still insist on recognizing him as your master? But he still remembers the Vampire King's life-saving grace. Murray dismisses this. Even if he's going to hurt Miss Linde, the one you love most, Loris breaks out in a cold sweat. I don't love Miss Linde. I'm just grateful to her. Murray sarcastically curses him. You're a coward, a spineless fool. Loris asks Murray if he's fallen in love with Miss Linde. You're the one who likes her. Murray becomes frenzied at these words. Neither of us deserves to like her. We're insects living in the sewers in darkness. Our affection would only taint her. She's pure and holy, worthy of everyone's admiration. So we must tell Miss Linde about DeWitt's plan. When night falls, Loris presumptuously enters Linde's room. Before he can speak, he sees the kiss marks on Linde's neck. Master never touches those women, but Miss Linde's scent has changed. There's a breath of desire in her blood. It shouldn't be like this. Miss Linde should be the most pure. No one deserves someone as wonderful as her. She shouldn't belong to DeWitt. Before telling her about this matter, the butler wants to ask Linde to do something, just like last time, to touch him. Linde freezes. Touch you? DeWitt just left, and now he suddenly barges in, asking her to touch him. What exactly is he trying to do? Could he be trying to stage a scene of catching them together in front of DeWitt? If so, she'll die a miserable death, especially with DeWitt's insanity. Since my fiancé likes it so much, I'll find a few men and let you play with them slowly in front of me. After all, DeWitt is that kind of extreme pervert, and Loris is too hard to read. At first, he seemed like a gentleman with principles, but now he seems more like a major pervert. Linde starts to suspect he has two completely different personalities. Linde doesn't agree. She tells him to speak directly if he has news, and if not, stop bothering her. No matter what, the person before her absolutely cannot be trusted. She won't make any deals that trade her sincerity for information. The butler says this isn't a trade. He'll tell her the news right now. Inside, he thinks he'll surely gain Linde's trust with his sincerity. The butler tells Linde all of DeWitt's plans. After hearing everything, Linde's skin crawls. She's given him everything without reservation, yet he still wants to pull these tricks. Looks like she needs to teach him a lesson. The butler pleads with Linde to leave DeWitt quickly and not become a plaything in DeWitt's bed. This raises Linde's suspicions. Why would Loris suddenly help me? Does he think I'll trust him like before? Linde asks about the mastermind behind the vampire riot incident. The butler freezes. Back then, he was the one who wrote the letter instigating Maid Emma to assassinate Linde. Looks like he can only make up an excuse to gloss over it. But Linde no longer trusts the butler at all. She begins a new plan. She still tells the butler to proceed normally according to the Vampire King's wishes. Create a poison that makes people lose their reason and become controllable. The butler obediently complies. As he leaves, he looks back at Linde. She won't discover that incident, will she? Right, after all, I once harbored malicious intentions to harm her. How could I deserve her forgiveness? He's about to leave dejectedly when Linde calls him back. Suddenly, Linde smiles happily. Thank you, Loris. Next time, if you have news like this, please tell me too. Then she blows the butler a kiss. The butler is delighted beyond measure. After closing the door, he savors the moment with Linde. She's truly so warm. DeWitt simply doesn't deserve someone as wonderful as Miss Linde. If I can control DeWitt, then can Linde stay here safely forever? That's right, as long as we imprison DeWitt, Miss Linde will belong only to me and Loris. Little does he know Linde has already become suspicious. Loris's reaction just now was wrong. He definitely once had thoughts of killing me. Emma targeted me from the start. Both of them see me as a thorn in their side, so they probably colluded with each other before. Linde has already thought of a reliable way to leave the castle. At this moment, Loris asks Murray in confusion, do we really have to betray Master? How can you be sure that after imprisoning Master, Miss Linde will be willing to stay? Murray rebukes him viciously. Don't you want to? If you don't want to, then give me control of the body and I'll do it. Loris refuses. This week's body control belongs to me. Besides, Miss Linde is free and great. We should respect her choice. However, Master cares deeply about his blood. His blood can awaken the strange power sleeping underground. Murray thought Loris would stick to his hypocritical rules about master and servant loyalty like before. He didn't expect him to stop being a gentleman now. Loris reminds himself he will always be a gentleman who upholds kindness and loyalty. But one of a gentleman's creeds is to protect the one he loves, even if it means betraying his master. Now he should repair the wall that Master broke. At this moment, a patrolling imp hears the sound and rushes over. Just as Loris arrives too, his first words are mocking the imp's dirty clothes. I hope you maintain a proper noble image in the future. This fills the imp with anger. Hypocritical cannibal. If it weren't for the Vampire King protecting him, I would have killed him long ago. At this moment, the werewolf hides in the shadows, observing. He desperately searching for Linde, trying to figure out where DeWitt has hidden her. He forcefully strikes the broken wall. Unexpectedly, the butler is inside. The butler says he wants to cooperate with the werewolf. They plan to capture DeWitt and imprison him. At this moment, Linde must serve the Vampire King again. The Vampire King sees the portrait Linde drew of him and praises it endlessly. Inside, Linde can't help mocking him. It's so ugly, yet he can still praise it. She remembers when she was young. After her father died, her mother dreamed of marrying her into a wealthy family. For this, she learned many art classes. Unfortunately, compared to art, she has more talent for fighting. The Vampire King sees the distracted Linde and lifts her up. What are you thinking about? Linde frantically denies it. Judging by his expression, the Vampire King seems to be in a great mood today. He punishes Linde to work 2 extra hours tonight. Before Linde can react, the Vampire King kisses her and the two become entangled. At this point, he began to complain that Loris was too slow. Still too slow. He gave Loris 3 days, but a qualified butler should be able to make the potion tonight. Once the potion is made, he'll never have to worry about her running away. The Vampire King wants Linde to say sweet things to please him. Do you like me? Confess your love to me. Linde immediately catches on. She keeps murmuring, Master, I love you so much. If only there were 48 hours in a day, then I could spend twice as much time with you every day. The Vampire King seems to sense that no faith power appears at all. Everything Linde says is a lie. The more she says these things, the emptier the place where his heart should be feels. This makes the Vampire King's possessiveness even stronger. He frantically feeds on Linde's blood, biting her skin. Linde becomes extremely shy. However, no matter how fake her words are, the marks she leaves on my body are real. After several hours of intimacy, the Vampire King is covered in suggestive marks. Today he's very happy and satisfied. As a reward for Linde, he brings her to a room piled with gold, silver, and treasures. Take whatever you like. There are about 10 more rooms like this. Looking at the scene before her, Linde's eyes light up. Now she has the funds to run away. However, she feels the Vampire King is plotting something. After all, she can't get out, and having these things in the castle is useless. So she says, compared to gifts, Master's affection is the most precious. I want nothing else. Hearing this, the Vampire King becomes unhappy. You want nothing? Why? Could it be that you want to leave here without any attachments when I'm not paying attention? His possessiveness flares up. He kisses Linde again. Then he forcefully pushes Linde down into the pile of gold, possessing her recklessly once more. No matter how Linde resists, the Vampire King only speeds up. You want to reject me this badly? The Vampire King picks up a pearl necklace and binds Linde's hands with it. Linde lets the Vampire King have his way. I won't allow it, Linde. I won't allow you to want nothing. A day and night later, Linde weakly puts on her clothes. One of the Vampire King's statements makes her panic. Let's hold a wedding. Linde thinks he's engaged in too much intimacy every day and worn away all his reason. If so, she can proceed with the next step of her plan and leave this place. According to DeWitt's habits, there are still 10 minutes before he returns to his room and discovers she's not there. Emma has improper desires toward DeWitt and is even more jealous of herself. If she truly possesses the ability to manipulate vampires, she can use her to create chaos for DeWitt, buying time to escape. Plus, she's already found the weak point in the castle's barrier last time. Only now does Linde remember the werewolf. She doesn't know if he escaped. In the corridor, Linde faintly hears a group of people denouncing her. Looks like all the maids are inside. Linde can only go in and play it by ear. This makes Aggie's face fill with anger. You shameless woman, how dare you show up? Linde scans everyone. She doesn't see Emma. The surrounding maids say she's been missing for a long time. Emma, disguised as Aggie, is very disdainful. Don't tell me you've fallen out of favor and been kicked out, looking for head maid Emma to plead for you? Linde notices her attitude is much more aggressive than the other maids. The two glare at each other. Linde thinks it doesn't matter who it is, as long as she can stir up chaos. You're looking forward to me being driven away? Too bad to disappoint you all. Her words stir up anger among the surrounding maids. Aggie slowly walks up to Linde. Maybe you've already fallen out of favor and are just bluffing. Linde lightly warns Aggie. Want to attack me? Aren't you afraid I haven't fallen out of favor at all? And DeWitt will punish you instead. This makes Aggie laugh out loud. Her face suddenly becomes vicious. You're just a human with stinking blood. So what if you're favored? How many days can you stay favored? How favored can you be? Enough to make Master die for you. You're just a noisy toy. Several people are about to attack Linde. Linde calculates the time. 3 seconds until DeWitt arrives. The Vampire King rushes over furiously. Everyone stop! Seeing the Vampire King appear, Aggie eagerly runs over. Master, you're so slow. I've been waiting here for you. Aggie is full of confidence. After all, she possesses the most beautiful appearance. Unexpectedly, the Vampire King doesn't even look at her and shakes off her hand. Get lost! Then he walks straight to Linde. Didn't I give you a separate room? Why come to this kind of place? Don't come out without my orders. Linde acts pitiful. I don't want to stay there anymore. Before she finishes speaking, the Vampire King becomes anxious. Give me a reason. Linde pretends to say, I'm human. I'll fall out of favor sooner or later. You favor me exclusively without considering others' feelings. When I lose favor, I'll definitely be bullied. Why not let me serve you like an ordinary maid? The Vampire King embraces Linde. Then marry me. Once you marry me, no one will dare bully you. This strikes Aggie like a thunderbolt. Linde can actually trick Master into granting her the position of wife. But she clearly awakened calamity and obtained beauty. Why still can't she possess Master's heart? Could it be that only that woman's face can win Master's favor? The Vampire King carries Linde back to the room. Then he unbuttons his shirt. Linde didn't expect him to be so eager. Not even an hour has passed and he wants to go again. Linde hastily resists. She curiously asks the Vampire King, "Are we really getting married?" Like humans do, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, never abandoning each other. This question stumps the Vampire King. He has Linde touch his heart. "You don't seem to understand yet. Whether in life or death, you can never leave me. Then do you love me?" The Vampire King is silent for a moment. "Love? You think I could fall in love with a human? But you do have an enticing scent." He smells Linde's fragrance. The Vampire King doesn't dare admit he's fallen in love with Linde. Linde also thinks she's being overly sentimental. After all, marriage is just his excuse to trap her with poison. "Then let me also say some sweet lies to deceive you." The vampire feeds on her blood without restraint, but his hands feel Linde's tears. Linde chokes up. "I think I've fallen in love with you." Only then does the Vampire King slowly raise his head. Linde tells him, "I lost my father when I was very young. People always bullied me. It's been so long since anyone treated me as well as you do, protecting me, cherishing me, giving me endless pleasure. I love you, master." Linde says these saccharine words to deceive the Vampire King. But before he can continue possessing Linde, the butler bursts in. "Master, there's trouble." This makes the Vampire King furious. "Who gave you permission to interrupt me?" "It's urgent," the butler says anxiously. "Someone has broken into the basement." The Vampire King can only stop. He kisses Linde. "Be good and wait for me to come back." After the Vampire King leaves, Linde shows a sinister smile. Everything is going according to her plan, treating the Vampire King like a dog. "When I release the leash, will you chase after me, DeWitt?" Linde tells that person to come out. Wolf ears emerge from behind the curtain. It's the werewolf who admires Linde. Linde thinks the basement incident is the werewolf's doing. The werewolf hastily denies it. It turns out this is part of his plan with the butler. "You go to Miss Linde's room first, then I'll lure DeWitt away," before he finishes speaking. They hear someone walking outside the door. That person walks straight toward the place where Calamity is rumored to be. At the critical moment, Murray comes out. It's Emma. It turns out he once told Emma that awakening Calamity with blood can grant power. Looks like Emma really succeeded. So Aggie is Emma. Loris thinks of a way to gain Linde's freedom without harming Master. Before the Vampire King carried Linde back to the room, the werewolf had already infiltrated. As soon as Linde enters the room, she spots the wolf tail. Fortunately, she performs a crying scene to divert DeWitt's attention. Learning that the woman who broke into the basement has purple hair and a purple dress, Aggie's image immediately surfaces in Linde's mind. The werewolf describes, "There's a power there that prevents anyone from approaching. Perhaps this is why DeWitt keeps reinforcing the castle." Before leaving, Linde plans to gather some escape funds and check out that secret room to quickly find DeWitt's weakness. At this moment, the Vampire King and the butler arrive at the basement together. They find the person is no longer there. DeWitt viciously questions, "Who did you lure here?" At this moment, a mysterious force strikes. "Heh, how long has it been since you came to see me? And your first words are so hurtful. I'm suppressed by your power and can't even leave my room. Who could I lure? Why couldn't they come to find me on their own? Perhaps your little fiancé prefers me." The Vampire King visibly becomes angry. "Dream on! She could never fall in love with you." Calamity keeps pushing the Vampire King's limits. "What if she's the one who came to find me?" This enrages the Vampire King. "If she dares, I'll kill her with my own hands." With that, he turns to leave. He runs right into Linde. Linde looks at the Vampire King affectionately and gently calls him master. The Vampire King asks in a low voice, "Didn't I tell you to wait in the room?" Linde, hiding in the corner, is stunned. She watches helplessly as the two leave. The werewolf beside her stares intently at Linde. Linde is confused. "What? You suspect I'm fake?" The werewolf has strong survival instincts. "I can tell the difference. Miss Linde is unique. I'm just shocked by that mysterious power. Not only the appearance, but even the scent can be perfectly replicated." She thought she would feel happy after leaving the Vampire King, but now she feels something is missing. Even DeWitt was deceived. After spending so much time together, he still mistook her so easily. Linde thinks this is a heaven-sent opportunity and is about to act, but the werewolf grabs her. "Let's check the secret room first." Linde can't imagine that there's such a powerful force underground, yet it's still controlled by DeWitt. But he helped Aggie. There must be a price to pay. If we rashly go over, it'll definitely be more dangerous. Hearing this, the werewolf starts admiring Linde again. "You're so smart! I like you so much!" Linde strokes the werewolf's face. "You're so brave and kind. In my eyes, that's more precious than any ability." The werewolf's heart races. He's always been the dumbest child in the wolf clan and has never been praised like this. After being touched by Linde, his body inexplicably heats up. He unconsciously moves closer to Linde. At this moment in the corridor, Aggie, disguised as Linde, keeps asking the Vampire King if they're really getting married. The Vampire King always keeps his word. After getting confirmation, Aggie is overjoyed. She must let the real Linde see that Master wants to marry her now, even if this appearance belongs to Linde. She, Emma, is the one truly marrying Master. She requests that the Vampire King announce this in front of all the vampires in the castle. She throws herself into the Vampire King's embrace. "I really hope everyone knows I'm marrying my beloved Master." The Vampire King is very satisfied seeing such a proactive Linde. Aggie finally experiences Master's gentle gaze. How hateful. If Calamity gave another chance, she would definitely kill Linde. But there's no more chance. Even this opportunity was exchanged for her life. Because her own face couldn't bewitch DeWitt, she could only pray for Calamity to give her a new face. After hearing that DeWitt wants to marry that human, Calamity is first shocked. then disdainful. That DeWitt who indulges in carnal games? I'd like to see what that human looks like. He has Aggie imagine Linde's appearance. This way, the face changing will succeed. At this moment, Butler Loris gathers all the servants. Then he has the Vampire King give orders. The butler sees Aggie acting very surprised. Miss Linde's dress? Could this be the one Miss Linde left in the secret room? Hearing this, the Vampire King's expression instantly darkens. You went to the secret room? Aggie panics and hastily denies it. She also angrily curses the butler for talking nonsense. The Vampire King's mind recalls Calamity's words. What if she's the one who came to find me? The Vampire King insists she betrayed him. He forcefully grabs Aggie's neck. No matter how Aggie pleads, it's useless. Aggie can only keep saying, "Master, I love you, Master." At this moment, the werewolf and Linde, who haven't managed to escape, are in the corner. Howl can't endure it anymore. He collapses onto Linde's shoulder. The werewolf's strength is too great. Linde can't push him away at all, until his claws scratch her thigh. Linde can't cry out for help, or she'll attract patrolling soldiers. She can only swing her fist at the werewolf. Only then does the werewolf regain consciousness. He acts pitiful and asks, "What happened?" Linde's face is full of displeasure. She puts her hands on her hips and demands, "You're asking me? You almost ate me!" The werewolf awkwardly changes the subject. He sees the wound on Linde's thigh that he scratched. Fresh blood keeps dripping onto the ground. At this moment, Calamity in the basement controls everything. With just a little aphrodisiac magic, he easily achieves his goal. He smells Linde's delicious blood. "Lovely human lady, I created an undetectable substitute for you. How will you thank me? Then repay me with yourself." At this moment, the werewolf simply bandages Linde's wound. He can only keep apologizing, because werewolves, in order to kill their prey, have claws that cause wounds that don't heal easily. During the bandaging process, the werewolf has ill intentions and can only offend Miss Linde. His mouth moves to her wound, because only werewolf saliva can help wounds heal. Linde is in unbearable pain. The feeling is strange. She can only tell herself not to overthink. Howl is just an innocent child. He's only doing this to treat the wound. Before long, the wound slowly heals. The werewolf needs to return to the werewolf tribe as soon as possible. He wants to invite Linde to go with him. Since werewolves and vampires are mortal enemies, perhaps there are other methods to completely kill vampires. The werewolf takes Linde's hand and runs toward the exit. At this moment, they hear a vampire's loud shout from behind them. "Linde!" Hearing the Vampire King's heart-wrenching roar, Linde can't help but look back twice. The butler tells the Vampire King to accept his condolences. After all, a human body cannot come back from the dead. The Vampire King cannot accept this outcome. He orders everyone to leave. He holds the fake Linde and cries, "I won't allow you to die. Wake up. I won't allow you to leave me." The real Linde takes in this entire scene. He seems to be in so much pain. Is he grieving because of my death? After all, I'm a toy he wants to keep by his side, even with poison. The werewolf sees Linde's sadness. "Linde, you hate DeWitt, right?" "Of course. He's my father's killer. It's impossible not to hate him." But Linde's heart starts caring about the Vampire King's thoughts. Could he have truly fallen in love with her? She mocks herself, finding it ridiculous. She leads the werewolf toward the exit. "DeWitt, the next time we meet will be your death." Before long, the two crawl out through a hole, but they're discovered by guards. The werewolf quickly covers for Linde, so Linde can only keep running eastward. She runs for who knows how long. Looking back, she discovers DeWitt has actually caught up. The next second, Linde's eyes snap open. Looking at her surroundings, she feels relieved. She really did escape. In the castle, the Vampire King still cannot accept Linde's death. He clearly didn't use excessive force. Why did it turn out like this? Based on human symptoms, the butler diagnoses that Miss Linde died of a sudden heart attack. The Vampire King absolutely refuses to give up. He must find a human doctor. When he wants to kiss Linde's hand one last time, he discovers the ring is missing. He placed a tracking device in the ring. He should be able to find it. He senses its location. The ring's position is actually at the foot of the mountain. At this moment, the human town is very lively. The ring was picked up by a maid. "When you were dismissed, did you take anything valuable?" The other maids fantasize about returning to the castle. They think Master was just bewitched by that human girl. At this moment, Linde sits not far away. Fortunately, the equipment the werewolf gave her can hide her scent. She successfully disguises herself as a vampire. Before she can secretly rejoice, the Vampire King arrives with a group of guards. The maids all look over in admiration. Linde hides in the corner, not daring to look directly. Did Howl let something slip? Good thing she wasn't discovered. The Vampire King looks viciously at the maid holding the ring. "You're actually wearing Linde's ring. You shouldn't covet things that don't belong to you," the maid hastily explains. She found the ring in the castle's secret passage. The Vampire King freezes. Secret passage? At this moment, the town gates can no longer be entered or exited. Linde can only escape from the second-floor balcony. Unexpectedly, with one jump, she lands on a white-haired man. The man isn't angry. Instead, he teases Linde. Throwing yourself at someone is a very dangerous thing to do. When Linde sees the man's face clearly, she's stunned. Is this person DeWitt? Linde holds a knife to his neck, but she sees blood flowing from his neck. He's human. The white-haired man watches his blood slowly drip down. "If you don't stop the bleeding, I'm going to die." Hearing that DeWitt has already withdrawn with his guards in the distance, Linde finally lets him go. At this moment, the white-haired man acts weak. He leans on Linde's shoulder. "Now you can confirm I'm not that person, right?" Linde can indeed feel this man's personality is very different. Perhaps they just look alike. The white-haired man asks, "Seriously, is that person looking for you?" Linde immediately denies it, but the man pins her against the wall. If you're not honest with me, I'll have to confirm for myself. Linde's eyes show a trace of wariness. Are you threatening me? Miss, you attacked first. How can you make it sound like I'm the bad guy? To me, you're the dangerous one. Linde pushes the man away and leaves, but the white-haired man calls out to her. This is vampire territory. You have a strong smell of blood. Going out like this will cause chaos. Only then does Linde notice the bloodstains on her clothes. Looking at this seemingly simple man who's a powerless human, he should be harmless. So she asks to borrow his bathroom. Linde relaxes in the bathtub. After a long while, she hazily feels a man embracing her, entangling with her endlessly in the water. She thinks it's DeWitt. When she opens her eyes, she discovers it's the white-haired man. Before she can dodge, he kisses her. Linde suddenly wakes up. It was just a dream. But why would she dream about this man? At this moment, Linde hears the white-haired man's movement at the bathroom door. Linde is glad she locked the bathroom door from the start. But why has she been having these kinds of dreams since leaving the castle? It must be the fault of DeWitt, that pleasure maniac. At this moment, the white-haired man approaches with food. Hearing a noise, Linde asks what happened. She learns a werewolf was discovered at the inn. Linde glances at the white-haired man. Right now, she can only rely on him. She immediately puts on an innocent face. I really want to go home soon. She introduces herself as Carol. The white-haired man immediately becomes shy. I'm Crest. Linde starts making things up. She actually fled here because too many people covet her family's fortune, and forced marriage made her run away from home. She unexpectedly got lost here. She suggests they travel together. The white-haired man looks at her with clear eyes and immediately agrees, saying they'll leave when the sun rises. Linde thinks for now she can only escape vampire territory first. Later she'll search for the werewolf. It's still far from the human town. They have to cross at least one mountain to get there. The two ride horses together to escape the dangerous place. But during the journey, Linde notices the horse seems restless. The next second, the horse becomes uncontrollable. The white-haired man calls out to Linde, who's riding away. Miss Carol, slow down. Without me, how will you know which way to go? In reality, this is all part of his scheme. Inside, he only wants to conquer her and won't easily let her leave. At this moment, Linde falls off the horse into the forest. Fortunately, she jumped off in time, or she would have fallen off the cliff with the horse. At this moment, the white-haired man pretends to comfort Linde. Why didn't you tell me you can't ride? We could have ridden together. Linde also knows he has ulterior motives, but her leg is injured. She can only return to the vampire town. The white-haired man smiles as he has Linde hold on to him. This is the only way to save you. The carried Linde doesn't. Forget about the suitcase. The white-haired man just looks at it coldly. I can buy you beautiful new dresses. You don't need those things from your past anymore, Miss Carol. You only have me now. Be obedient. Linde can only adapt to the situation. At this moment, the butler also arrives at the human town. He finds a painter to draw Linde's likeness, but he's stopped by his second personality. That werewolf obviously lied. A werewolf with such keen sense of smell. How could he not detect the other party's scent? Linde simply doesn't want to see us. Murray, who once hated Linde, swears this time he'll definitely protect her and regain her trust. At this moment, the werewolf arrives at the human town. Right away, a madam calls out to him. Sir, would you like to come upstairs? Only 2 coins for the whole night. He didn't expect human females to be more enthusiastic than female wolves in heat. Good thing he's only interested in Miss Linde. He really misses her. At this moment, the butler walks up behind the madam. He looks at the coins in his hand. I can make you do anything. The madam glances disdainfully. Dangerous games cost extra. This statement instantly angers the butler. You judgmental woman. Miss Linde is the most beautiful and kind. But he still willingly takes out more coins. He takes out the potion DeWitt asked him to research and has the madam drink it. The madam doesn't dare drink it randomly. The butler then pours some for a small dog to drink. The potion is very safe. After drinking it, the madam's face flushes red. She keeps saying, I love you, sir. How much do you love me? Will you do anything I say? Of course. I can even die for you. The butler orders her to kneel down and kiss his shoes. Unexpectedly, the madam actually does it. This makes the werewolf panic. This potion couldn't be before he and Linde escaped the castle. They passed by the castle's medical room and saw this potion. Linde immediately recognized this as the poison the vampire king prepared to control her. She pours out half of the poison. She also orders the werewolf to dilute the remaining potion with water. The poured out half is placed by Linde in her pocket. On the other side, looking at the white-haired man who's so attentive to her, Linde thinks she can only make a last stand with the potion she brought from the castle. After bringing Linde back, the white-haired man treats her like a doll to manipulate. Linde looks at the pervert before her. Ever since he brought her to this house, he hasn't treated her injury. Good thing she took the external wound medicine from the castle. Otherwise, she would definitely have a fever and fall into unconsciousness. The white-haired man says dismissively, it's all been said anyway. The wound will heal quickly. Linde can only sulk silently. This is a fracture. How can it possibly heal in just 2 days? This person has no common sense at all. The white-haired man awkwardly touches his neck. Human bodies are so fragile. He picks up Linde. Let me feed you something. Linde devours the food hungrily. Since that day when she fainted from pain, she has no idea where she is. She only knows that day the white-haired man changed all her clothes to prevent him from discovering the potion. Linde could only throw the potion on the ground. She must find a way to get the potion back before being tortured to death. The white-haired man tells Linde, this villa is a standalone in the forest. No neighbors will disturb us. Linde can only find a way to get him to leave. Unexpectedly, the white-haired man puts sleeping pills in the tea. His reason is that she was too restless last night. He wants her to rest dressed well. Linde doesn't hold it steady and spills tea on her dress. She apologizes softly, but the white-haired man doesn't care. He comforts Linde. Forget the cup. Let me carry you to the room to rest. Linde stops the white-haired man who's about to leave. She acts aggrieved. I dirtied my dress. You won't buy me new dresses anymore, will you? Do you like it that much? I do. It would be great if I could have a new dress when I wake up, the white-haired man says. If Linde sleeps obediently, her dream will come true. Then he leaves the room. After he leaves, Linde opens her eyes. Compared to the spy training she received, this sleeping pill has no effect on her at all. She sneaks downstairs. She finds the potion in the bushes. But unexpectedly, she attracts a low-level vampire. The vampire smells Linde's delicious blood and pounces. But he's shot by an arrow. The white-haired man saves her. Didn't I tell you to sleep obediently? Linde, collapsed on the ground, looks innocent. How did you come back so fast? What are you doing down here? Is your leg healed? Looks like breaking one leg can't stop you from running around. He touches Linde's broken leg. Linde is in so much pain she can't open her eyes. I wasn't trying to run. The white-haired man suddenly becomes fierce. Then why? What are you holding? Hand it over yourself, or you can say goodbye to that hand too. Linde hesitates repeatedly. Actually, it's this. She takes out a bouquet of flowers from behind her. You saved me and gave me a dress. I have nothing to repay you with, so I thought I'd pick some flowers while you're away. To give you a surprise, the white-haired man is instantly moved. This is the first time anyone has given him flowers. Because before this, everyone preferred him more, and the girls gave flowers to him too. Linde watches the distracted white-haired man and can't help but sigh. This person is surprisingly naive sometimes. Fortunately, she already noticed him before the lower vampires pounced. The white-haired man questions Lind. Does giving me flowers mean you like me? Linde quickly changes the subject, asking where he just went. To her surprise, he went out to gather herbs. He suddenly leans closer. Since you gave me flowers, let me personally apply medicine for you. The two come to the living room together. Linde lifts her skirt, revealing her injured pale thigh. The white-haired man carefully applies medicine for Linde. Does it still hurt? Can we do something else now? Like tasting you. Before Linde can react, the white-haired man pins her down. Linde instinctively cries out, Master, don't! The white-haired man freezes. Master! After Linde regains her senses, she quickly corrects herself. No, Crest. The white-haired man's lips curl into a smile. You can finally tell me and him apart. Then he pins Linde down. The next second, Linde's eyes snap open. It was a dream. The white-haired man looks over with a grin. What kind of me did Miss Linde dream about today? I originally wanted to bandage your wound, but you fainted from the pain. Crest thinks confidently to himself. At this rate, she'll surely fall in love with me soon. No, maybe she already has? Linde feels cursed every time she has to dream about him. Always those scenes. She wanted to pretend to sleep during the medicine application, but didn't expect to actually fall asleep. Linde glances at the hidden potion. She needs to find a way to trick him into drinking it. Crest walks over with new clothes. What do you want to do? I'll carry you over. Linde starts acting pitiful. I wanted to stand while putting on the dress, but I can't even do this small thing right. The white-haired man is about to help. Linde starts scheming. Why don't I prepare breakfast for you? I want to do something for you. Crest agrees, but he keeps following behind Linde. To slip the potion in, Linde can only make excuses to get him to leave first. Soon after, Linde attentively brings him a cup of tea. He immediately smells the medicine in the tea. He makes an excuse, wanting to drink Linde's instead. You drink mine. After working so hard, aren't you thirsty? Seeing this, Linde angrily rebukes him. What are you suspecting? Since you don't trust me so much, there's no need to eat this breakfast. The white-haired man panics. He obediently eats the food. Ordinary poison can't kill me. I'm stronger than you imagine. Linde doesn't even have painkillers, let alone poison. Even if my beloved poisoned me, I would eat it all. The white-haired man drops a few sugar cubes into his teacup. He stirs leisurely. Linde watches with a sinister look. Crest, who treats sugar like his life. I'll make you consume the poison bit by bit yourself. After eating, the two go for a walk in the garden. Crest made a wheelchair for her, just to make it convenient for Linde to sunbathe in the garden every day. Linde touches her legs, almost healed. Once he finishes that entire bottle, I can make him lead me to Howl. At this moment, the butler is meeting with Howl. He brings a woman back to report to the Vampire King. Leave a tracking mark on this foolish wolf. Follow him to find Miss Linde. Howl looks at the baby tooth in his hand. Through it, he can identify her scent, and will soon find Miss Linde. The butler has already brought the woman outside the castle. He tells the woman the plan. The Vampire King sits sullenly on his throne, looking at the human doctor the butler brought back. The woman stammers, introducing herself as Nicole, a doctor from Ophir Town. I heard you have a patient here. Please let me examine them in person. The Vampire King has only one question. Where did that wolf go? Because a maid found a ring in the hall, and Linde was always by his side. So how could the ring be there? The Vampire King also searched outside the castle. The guard explains that the werewolf escaped through a tunnel. When did this happen? Right when you summoned everyone to the hall. But Butler Laura said not to report it yet. The butler quickly explains. The werewolf's escape wasn't intentionally concealed. There were just too many emergencies, and I was afraid of delaying Miss Linde's treatment, so I didn't report it. The Vampire King presses him step by step. What about the secret passage? You repair it daily but never encountered it? The butler panics. I truly don't know about any secret passage. Master saved my life. I would never collude with the werewolf to betray you. But the Vampire King isn't fully convinced yet. Then let the doctor you brought back treat Linde first. Looking at the fake Linde lying in the coffin, the woman then pretends to examine her. Don't be afraid. My master taught me how to diagnose. I just need to follow what he said. Finally, the doctor tells the Vampire King. This lady died of a sudden heart attack. She has no heartbeat or breathing, and the body is decaying. It's best to... Before she can finish, DeWitt pulls out a sharp knife. Since Linde is dead, you should be buried with her. Nicole quickly shields the butler. The dead cannot come back to life. The butler was only following orders. You can't blame him. The Vampire King remains unmoved. Since you're also so loyal, then die with him. To save her life, the doctor reveals the truth. Wait, she's still alive. Is your survival instinct making you talk nonsense? Nicole pulls out a portrait. I've seen someone who looks exactly like her. The butler is completely panicked now. The Vampire King demands to know who's looking for her. I don't know. It's a human town after all. Could be Miss Linde's acquaintance, or someone who resembles her. The Vampire King orders the butler to find her. I want to see her. Next, Nicole gets slapped. Who told you to say that? Nicole cries pitifully. All of this was to protect you, Master. What she doesn't know is that vampires don't die that easily. The butler leaves without looking back. He tells Nicole to get lost. Don't let me see you again. Since DeWitt no longer trusts me, I don't need to serve him anymore. From now on, my only master is Miss Linde. The Vampire King looks at the dead Linde. Is that dog looking for you? But you're clearly right here. Unless he's not looking for you at all. The Vampire King carefully examines Linde's hand. Then he bites down hard. The blood tastes wrong. The Linde before him instantly transforms into Emma. The Vampire King explodes in fury. Loris, you liar! Meanwhile, the real Linde is scheming. Crest has completely let his guard down. He actually dares to go out while I'm awake. A woman comes looking for someone named Linde. She asks nervously, "Are you human or vampire?" Linde picks up a thorny rose. "See, I bleed red blood." The woman hands Linde an envelope. A werewolf asks someone to deliver this. The woman quietly asks Lind, "Have you seen young Master Edward?" But isn't the owner of this house Crest? The woman hasn't heard this name because she used to be a maid at Edward's house. Until a few months ago, the nearby vampire castle caused disturbances. Everyone was killed by vampires, and only the young master survived. Are you talking about the vampire castle of the Capet family? Yes? This place is not far from... Before she finishes, an arrow pierces her. It's Crest. He looks innocently at Linde. "You hurt yourself again. Your blood always attracts these filthy things." Linde shoves him away. "Including you? Did you forget I'm human?" The next second, Linde shoves her finger into his mouth, stirring forcefully. How does the blood taste? Linde's action catches the white-haired man off guard. "I don't want to touch you with this body." "Don't provoke me." Linde questions. "This body?" She grabs Crest by the throat. "I don't seem to understand you at all. Who else is in your family? Do they live here? Why did you go to the vampire town? You haven't told me any of this." Linde has made him drink the obedience potion in different ways. It's time to test the results. "I want you to tell me the truth right now." Crest kneels on one knee. "My beautiful master, I'm willing to tell you everything. Actually, this is a borrowed body. I was born into a family where only one child can survive. From a very young age, killing was our mission and instinct. Only the winner could stay in that family. And I was the strongest one, but no one liked me. And my brother, who shares a similar face, was loved and followed by everyone. I tried to become him, but it was all in vain. I thought about killing him, but I lost. That one failure led to my brother imprisoning me in the basement forever. No freedom, no sleep, and no way to end it all. Until you came, I finally saw light in my living death. You weakened his power, giving me a chance to break free. I finally gained this body. So to thank you, I helped you escape the castle." He kisses Linde's hand. Hearing this, Linde finally realizes. "Could it be your... For the past 300 years, I've been called Calamity. So when DeWitt appeared in the vampire town, you were already hiding there with a plan." Crest nuzzles her hand. "Of course, to meet you and let you see clearly. Although we have similar faces, I'm not him." Linde now realizes why Howell said he couldn't get close to this place. It was blocked by the same power. If Crest possesses such strong power, will Loris's potion still work on him? If it doesn't work, why would he answer truthfully? She'll just have to take a gamble. Linde orders him to kill DeWitt. "Prove your true feelings for me." Crest is delighted. "So in Master's heart, you love me more than him, right?" Linde is speechless. Where did that conclusion come from? Crest leans on Linde's legs. "Unfortunately, I can't kill him." Linde doesn't believe it. He clearly has powerful strength. He even deceived the Vampire King. How could he not be able to kill him? Crest lies like a puppy at her feet, showing off his even greater power. It's just that DeWitt sealed it. With blood as oath, cursed by blood, he used all his blood as the price, to seal all my power. After that, time in the castle stopped. Every day at 12 o'clock, it would return to the day I was sealed. Until Miss Linde arrived, time began to flow again. And his power weakened too. Linde now understands. It must have been when she killed him that time. But vampires have 7 chances of resurrection. Linde looks disappointed. "How can we kill him then?" Crest tells her not to worry. To inherit the throne, he's already used 5 times. And you killed him once, which means he only has 1 life left now. As long as he bleeds enough, I can break through the seal and kill him on the spot. But doing this comes with a high price. After all, last time, if not for Howell, Linde might have died in prison. She doesn't know how long Crest's potion will last either. The safest option now is to use the vampire's natural enemy, so she needs to find a way to meet Howell. Linde can only sweet talk. "Actually, I don't want to return to the castle anymore. I detest him, I fear him. I only want to stay with you." Crest quickly waves his hands, explaining pitifully, "Then we won't go back. Jack, we won't go back. I'll find another puppet to help us assassinate DeWitt. He originally wanted to use Emma, but it failed. Those women are too easily seduced by him. He changed Aggie's appearance to look like Miss Linda, planning to spare her life if she stabbed DeWitt. But Aggie broke the agreement. A suitable person comes to Linda's mind. On the other side, the vampire butler has already escaped the castle. Suddenly, Linda appears behind him. It's not Howl. Seeing Linda, Loris is both surprised and delighted. Linda tries to avoid him but trips and falls flat on her face. Loris begs Linda, "Don't treat me like a stranger. From beginning to end, I never betrayed you." Suddenly, a mysterious force strikes. The Vampire King appears before them. The Vampire King deliberately frames the butler. "Thanks to you, I found my Miss Linda so quickly." The butler can't explain himself no matter what he says. The Vampire King attacks the butler with his power. He gazes affectionately at Linda in his arms. "Why is this your reaction? Have you been playing outside too long and forgotten how to greet your master?" Linda shakes off the Vampire King's hand. "You've mistaken me for someone else. My name is Carol." "So it's Miss Carol," the Vampire King chuckles. "Then you probably don't know this werewolf either?" Howl is captured. In his urgency, he almost shouts Linda's name. Fortunately, Linda signals him with her eyes and explains to the Vampire King that she doesn't know him. The Vampire King can only flay and debone the werewolf. Linda completely panics. The werewolf's face gets slashed. The Vampire King grows more and more insane. "Seems one eye isn't enough to make you talk. Then I'll trade your life for it." Linda nervously throws herself into the Vampire King's arms, instinctively calling out, "DeWitt, what did you call me?" Linda is frightened by his powerful aura. She trembles as she calls out, "Master, shouldn't you show something when seeing your beloved master?" The Vampire King wraps his arm around Linda's waist. He kisses her despite her resistance. The werewolf and butler both panic. The Vampire King looks at the blushing Linda. "You're quite capable, fooling even me. How should I punish you?" Linda thinks he's going to take her here. The Vampire King warns them with an evil look. "I'll make those two thieves who stole you see clearly that you can only be mine." The werewolf suddenly roars, "Let go of Miss Linda. Come at me instead." The dying butler pleads, "Master, this was all my plan. Please don't punish Miss Linda." The ruthless DeWitt kills the butler. This completely disappoints Linda. The Vampire King continues his forced love. "These nobodies don't deserve your concern. She didn't expect DeWitt to be so cold-blooded, killing a living person just like that." The Vampire King chuckles. "He was an insect like you all along. Crushing him was just a matter of time. The more he acts this way, the more Linda hates him." She tells the Vampire King she will never fall in love with a cold-blooded person. This strikes a nerve with the Vampire King. Hearing Linda's rebukes one after another, the Vampire King grows angry. "What did you just say? I'll give you one more chance. Think carefully before speaking." "I said, I don't love you, DeWitt." The next second, a sword pierces DeWitt's body. It's Crest. He shouts for Linda to run quickly. He stays behind to handle the aftermath. The rescued Howl transforms into a wolf. He tells Linda to jump on his back. "Is the archer your friend? Should we go back to save him?" Linda glances back. DeWitt grabs Crest by the throat and slams him hard to the ground. He orders his subordinates to capture Linda and bring her back. On the other side, the fleeing Linda accidentally falls off Howl's back and gets surrounded by lower vampires. Linda wonders how to kill them. After all, werewolves are the natural enemies of vampires. Only holy water can. 1,000 years ago, in the war between wolves and vampires, the werewolves won the Holy Grail. Only water purified by it can kill vampires. The Holy Grail is now in the wolf tribe. The Vampire King has already caught up. Seems destroying one eye was too lenient. Linda has no choice. She tells the werewolf, "When they pounce on me, you escape. Find me later with that thing." She slashes her wrist with a knife. This makes the Vampire King panic, because Linda's blood gives off a fragrance. Those vampires pounce like demons. The Vampire King protects Linda. He carries Linda away from this dangerous place, to a cave. He rebukes Linda to save that stupid wolf. "You don't even care about your own life?" Linda's eyes dare not meet his. The Vampire King grows even more furious. "Look at me immediately! I told you to look at me!" Linda cries out in pain. Only then does the Vampire King notice the wound on her arm. Linda mocks the Vampire King's pretended affection. "What are you pretending for? Aren't you about to lose control, like those little demons? If I were a beast, you'd already be a dried corpse." The Vampire King carefully treats her wound. The wound heals quickly. Linda tells him, no matter how hard he tries, she will never fall in love with him. The Vampire King, provoked by Linda's words, has his possessiveness triggered and wants to take Linda in the wilderness. Linda fights desperately, unable to resist biting the Vampire King's arm. The Vampire King immediately snaps to his senses in fright. "Do you want to become a vampire? Drinking my blood will turn you into one. Didn't you know?" Looking at the bite mark Linda left, the Vampire King smirks. Perhaps this is a good punishment. He takes his own blood in his mouth and delivers it to Linda through his lips. No matter how Linda struggles, it's useless. She cries, saying she'd rather die than become a monster. When the Vampire King isn't paying attention, she pulls out a knife and holds it to her own neck. The Vampire King panics. He remembers that day when the fake Linda died. He forcefully pins Linda down. "I was lying to you. Only humans who willingly become vampires and drink my blood will be effective." Linda is now completely hopeless, crying with tears streaming down her face. "Let me go. Let me die." The Vampire King affectionately tells Linda, "I forgive you this once, as long as you continue to love me." The seemingly fragile Linda actually has everything under her control. The Vampire King picks her up. Linda needs to continue plotting something the Vampire King cannot immediately obtain. She slowly speaks, "I don't love you, DeWitt. I've already fallen in love with someone else." "Who have you fallen in love with?" That wolf or the butler? Linde cries again. I love a human, but you've already killed him. Soon after, the Vampire King brings Linde to find him. He's barely breathing. Linde knows that when Crest attacked the Vampire King, he hid his appearance. The Vampire King still doesn't know his power is recovering. She runs to Crest's side crying, Claire, wake up! Don't leave me alone. This enrages the Vampire King. No! He immediately orders his subordinates to burn the man to ashes. Besides me, whoever you fall for, I will kill them. Understand? A vampire comes to report there are disturbances from the castle, seemingly from some power in the basement. Linde shows a triumphant smile. A little blood should be enough for Crest to recover, right? The injured butler, now awake, sees Linde being brought back to the castle by the Vampire King. He vows to rescue Miss Linde. The human doctor, brought back by the butler, is now wanted by vampires. She can only hide in a corner, left to fend for herself. She comes to the river feeling wronged. Just as she worries about not having food, she sees someone dumping a body in the river, wrapped in black fabric. The doctor struggles to pull it up. Is it her? Did that man abandon you? Ha ha! Since you're dead, why not make a contribution to me? The woman actually cuts her up and roasts the pieces to eat. She devours it ravenously. Soon she feels physically unwell. My body is so hot I'm burning up. The Vampire King brings Linde back to the castle. Linde notices more guards too. Linde sees a handsome vampire. She can't help but touch his face. Truly handsome. The Vampire King flies into a rage. What are you doing? Among so many handsome men, perhaps I'll find my new lover. The Vampire King erupts in fury. I told you, whoever you fancy I'll kill. Linde doesn't care at all. Then kill them all. The Vampire King sees through her purpose. You're deliberately provoking me into killing my own? Then he orders all the maids to be summoned back. It's time to restart the gatherings. The maids are all delighted. Seems Master has changed his mind. What is that human? We're his true loves. An unfamiliar maid walks in. She claims to be new, named Nicole. Everyone gossips that her eyes look like Aggie's. Her scent is strange. Did she eat someone? Nicole randomly stops a vampire. Has Master returned? Yes. The Vampire King has called you all back. Nicole looks shocked. She wanted to ask about the butler. Butler Loris was killed by Master for protecting Miss Linde. These words instantly turn Nicole dark. The demon orders the maids to prepare dinner for Linde. They grit their teeth. Linde? Didn't that human die? She's resurrected again? The demon tells them they'd better show respect. Master values Linde very much now. He won't even let her walk on the ground herself. He carries her everywhere. Everyone thinks Master has truly fallen in love with that woman. Nicole stands up with a hateful look. Leave it to me. Soon she walks over with food. She's immediately rebuked by the Vampire King upon opening the door. What are you standing there for? Hurry and bring the food in. Linde wears clean, beautiful clothes and sits elegantly to the side, but her complexion doesn't look good. Nicole places the food on the table. Just as she's about to pull out a knife, the Vampire King is standing right behind her. Leave after delivering the food. Seeing Linde unwilling to eat, the Vampire King wants to feed her personally. Linde looks disgusted. Are you going to drug me again to turn me into a mindless puppet? I won't eat anything you've touched. She pushes everything away. This completely angers the Vampire King. Seems you don't like me treating you gently. Then let's play a long overdue game. The Vampire King kisses her. He pulls out an enchanted toy from his hand. Putting this inside your body should be very interesting. I can't wait to see you begging me for mercy. Whenever you actively ask to replace it with mine, I'll take it out of your body. I hope you won't make me wait too long. After placing it, the Vampire King goes to investigate the castle disturbances. His subordinate reports it seems to be coming from the basement, but their power is too weak to approach. Useless. Without Loris, you need me to handle even such small matters. The Vampire King suddenly sees cracks on the ground. You think you can escape by breaking half the seal? The Vampire King suddenly feels something's wrong. The usually noisy one is silent. Looking closer, Calamity left his power here and escaped in spirit form. Why is he so desperate to get out all of a sudden? Suddenly he smells blood. Linde is injured. Linde has been tortured beyond recognition. She bit through her lip. The Vampire King, rushing back from outside, feels heartbroken seeing Linde injured. I don't want you to suffer any pain. This reminds Linde of her childhood, when her father said the same words. Tears flow uncontrollably. The Vampire King kisses her forehead. Don't cry. It won't hurt soon. Linde, your body is saying it likes me. Soon your heart will fall in love with me again. The two are busy in bed all night. Linda sleeps until she wakes naturally, and her body is covered in bruises. She looks at the ring placed back on her hand. Without hesitation, she tries to remove it. The Vampire King, just walking in, sees this. He scolds Linde, put it on immediately. He walks to Linde and personally puts it on her. The ring contains my power. Lower vampires won't dare approach. Next time there's danger, you can at least protect yourself. Linda knows the man's purpose is to monitor her whereabouts. The Vampire King pins her down. Since you know, don't run around. A maid wheels over a food cart. Master, everything is prepared as you ordered. The Vampire King personally feeds the steak to Linde's lips. Humans are fragile creatures. Miss one meal and your legs might become deformed. Linde glares at him viciously. Then let them become ugly and deformed. I won't have to be your pet anymore. The Vampire King brings the meat to his own lips, chews it, and forces it into Linde's mouth. The Vampire King, who normally can't eat human food, sacrifices everything for Linde. He tells Linde that eating human food is like humans eating dog food or pig feed. A few bites won't kill me. Linde finally manages to push the Vampire King away. Seeing her so resistant, the Vampire King can only order her to finish the food herself. He walks outside and keeps vomiting. He still has a rejection reaction, risking his life just to coax his fiancée to eat. Eating too much dog food really doesn't work. The Vampire King can't help but mock himself. A maid behind him sees all this. She didn't realize that with the man personally tasting the food, there's no way to poison and kill Linde. Before she recovers, a vampire calls out, "What are you doing there? Get to work quickly!" A vampire brings a letter to the Vampire King. He's surprised his father has awakened. Ever since that day when he lied to his father about killing Crest, his father entered hibernation. He managed the Capet family affairs. Although vampires are immortal, hibernation lasts at least 100 years, at most 1,000. Now he's awakened in less than 50 years. The letter mentions that the new head of the Cetis family is an outstanding woman. He arranged for the Vampire King to meet this woman. The Vampire King resents his father's approach, creating a bunch of children, making them kill each other. The final winner combines with another victor, creates more children, and continues the killing. He's long tired of this life. He plans to defy his father's orders. Rather than persuading that stubborn old man, better to act first. That would be making Linda his wife.